Happy Friday, North Texas. I'm Scott.
And I'm Alicia.
Today is Friday, April 11th, and we've got a good one for you today. Happy Friday, friends.
That's right. First up, we've got an interview with a UNT alumnus and world-renowned fashion designer who recently became the namesake of the Michael W. Faircloth Fashion Design Program in the College of Visual Arts and Design. Then we're going to learn a little bit about Admitted Students Day, a super fun event coming up to help admitted students learn more about UNT.
That's a lot of fun UNT news to talk about, Alicia, but first, we have to catch up.
Scotty, heard you had something you wanted to share with the listeners. What's going on?
Well, I wanted to give a quick update about alumna Carrie Hargrave. Last episode, I talked to her about the podcast she produced.
Oh, you mean True Texas Crime, The Significant Life of Angela Stevens? Loved it. 10 out of 10, 5 stars.
Well, you're not the only one who loved it because the show is nominated for a Webby in the Best Indie Podcast Limited Run category. Listeners, check the show notes for a link where you can vote for Carrie's podcast. Voting ends on April 17th, so be sure to cast your vote and help her win.
That's awesome. Definitely voting right after this. And speaking of awesome alumni, our first interview today is with fashion designer Michael W. Faircloth. Faircloth has created stunning looks for celebrities like Cher and former First Lady Laura Bush, and he was recently honored by the College of Visual Arts and Design with the naming of the Michael W. Faircloth Fashion Design Program. Our girl Lisa Shortino caught up with the man himself to talk about the honor and his decade-spanning career in fashion.
Let's start with the obvious question. How do you feel about having a program named in your honor?
Well, it's having the program, the Michael W. Faircloth Fashion Design Program, named after me is absolutely incredible feeling. You know, after working 43 years in the business, to reflect upon my time here at UNT and how gratifying it was and how formative it was in my career is very, very humbling and very rewarding at the same time.
That's fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about your time here at UNT? What standout moments do you still reflect on? What was the impact of your education here on your career?
Well, when I started a fashion design program here at the time it was the North Texas State University, now transitioned to University of North Texas. Fashion design program through the art department was fundamental, in all of my knowledge. I knew nothing. I couldn't even draw a circle. So coming here with no formal background in art whatsoever was a little bit daunting. But at the same time, I learned everything here at the program through watercolor, fashion, design 1 and 2, drafting, pattern making, fitting, sewing, construction, weaving, jewelry making. Everything was taught here to me, and all those skills I use on a daily basis.
I heard you in the hallway talking about, I remember my first day. Can you take me back to a little bit of that?
I do remember my first day coming to the University of North Texas, interviewing the college after looking at Parsons and FIT. And Kim Dawson, who owned Kim Dawson Modeling Agency here in Dallas at the time, told my mother to seriously consider the University of North Texas, their fashion design program, which we did. And I came up here in the fall of 1978 to look at the program. And it was, to me, art building was fascinating because it was new and concrete, very modern. And to sit down and talk about my possible future in fashion design here at UNT was exciting, thrilling at the same time, a little bit scary, coming to a new environment and to a cold environment. It was cold, I remember my first day, not just the concrete feeling of the building, but also the weather itself was cold. And I can have those exact moments of what I wore, what my mother wore, what Betty Marzanne Mathilde wore. It's very interesting.
Yeah. What impact do you hope the program will have on current and future students?
I'm hoping that this program, fashion design here at the University of North Texas, will continue to inspire students to do their very best. I know the fashion design industry changes dramatically. Technology is increasing at an astronomical rate. I was, of course, taught in a very formal, everything was done by hand, very formal, old world techniques of drawing by hand, cutting by hand, sewing by hand. So all of those, I think, are still very viable instruments to use going forward, but I hope this will be a blend of the old world techniques, that have been used for many millennia, as well as the new technological advances.
Why is that history still important to design students?
In thinking about how historical fashion, reflects modern design, we always have to keep in mind that we still need armholes, legs or openings for our legs, for our necks to be protected from the elements, but also we as people, as humans, not just for warmth and for coverage, but we also express ourselves through our clothing. So it will always be very valid, very important, as long as humans are here on Earth, to have that ability to express yourself through your clothing, whether it be as minimal as you want or as maximum as you want.
How do you hope that current technology comes into play into the programs that the students are going to be studying?
Certainly current technology in every field is changing dramatically, and in the fashion design field as well. The new fabrications that are being developed, as well as how designers manifest their designs is very important. So many clothes are being made, of course, by machine now, and artists and designers are allowed to create or illustrate or formulate their ideas on the computer, which is so vastly different than what I had when I was here.
What do you hope the impact of this program is on the fashion industry as a whole?
I'm hoping that this fashion design program will grow stronger, as I would for any program, but especially here in Texas. We were known, for years and years and years as a fashion capital, and I want our school here at the University of North Texas to continue to be in the forefront of fashion design and teaching students how to create clothing, how to design clothing, and how to be wonderful artists and express themselves properly.
That's great. What piece of advice do you have to students who are or will be in the program about a career in fashion? What can you tell them? What insight can you lend to them?
In considering fashion design as a career, one can use any of these individual skills that you learn here at university, whether it is just pattern making or just sewing, if it's just illustration, or, for instance, in my case, doing the whole business myself. So I utilize all of my skills. I no longer have to sew, thankfully, or make patterns, thankfully. I have a wonderful staff that do that for me, but I do know how to do it, and my staff appreciates it so much more because I do know how to do it. And you have to learn every aspect of the business, every aspect of your career, from selling to producing to just dealing with your clients. If you're public facing, all of those social skills come into play as well.
What do you enjoy most about your career?
For me, in my career, I think the most rewarding part is meeting clients, because every day I make these women with whom I come into contact hopefully feel their most beautiful, their most confident, and that is what gives me the greatest joy, is knowing that I'm creating confidence and beauty in these women's lives on a daily basis.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the inauguration experience. What can you tell me a little bit about working with Mrs. Bush?
Well, working with Mrs. Bush, I was working with her 6 years prior to her becoming First Lady of the United States. And if one does remember the election of 2000, it was very contentious. It wasn't decided until very late. Normally it's decided and early, but it wasn't decided until probably December 15th, I believe. So we had a very short amount of time to create 9 garments for her for the inauguration ceremonies altogether. Normally we have about a month and a half, 2 months, and we had literally, I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks to get it all done, because Mrs. Bush wouldn't even historically consider any garments for an event until it was completely decided. So she wouldn't look at a sketch, wouldn't look at a design until it was all said and done and he was officially president. So we had a very short amount of time to create all the things, and the stress, the excitement and the stress of doing all that, was it just surmounted everything else.
Wow. Is there a standout moment? Is there a project that you worked on while you were here? Are there teachers who became mentors? Tell me a little bit more about your time here at the university.
When I first started here at the University of North Texas in my Design 1 and Design 2 classes, and finally got to where we could create clothing, and we didn't have what I thought a proper venue for showcasing our talents, and we wanted to have our collections on real models on real fashion show runways. So we did circle around and get everyone behind us, students and all my clients, everyone that I knew, to buy tickets, and so that they could afford to have the show move to Dallas on a runway with Ken Dawson models.
Wow. One more question. How involved do you hope to be with the students in the program going forward?
As my career in fashion design kind of winds down a little bit, I'm stepping back a little bit from my business. I do hope in the very near future to have more time here at university, working with the students, walking them through problems, critiquing their garments, inspiring them, and helping them in any way that I can, and of course continuing to bring focus to the fashion design department at the University of North Texas through the donations and exposure to my clients.
Wow, it is so awesome how he came to UNT with no experience in fashion design and has gone on to have this super successful career and now have the program named after him. Big thanks to Lisa for bringing us that interview, and be sure to check the show notes for a link to her story.
I loved in Lisa's story where he talked about remembering exactly what he was wearing the first time he visited campus. Be sure to check that story out, y'all. A whole new batch of future Eagles will be visiting campus for the first time for Admitted Students Day coming up on April 19th. You got some details for us, Scotty?
You know I do. Listeners may remember a couple episodes back when we talked about our preview events that give prospective students the chance to learn more about UNT. Well, Admitted Students Day is kind of like that, but specifically for students who have already completed the admissions process. I spoke to Shady McCosker and Keila Valdez from our admissions recruitment events team to get all the details. Let's start with kind of the basics. It's kind of laid out right there in the name, but who is Admitted Students Day for?
Yeah, so Admitted Students Day is for, honestly, admitted students, whether a first-time freshman or even transfers. This is just a great opportunity that we like to frame as a great day to come celebrate your hard work in getting through the application process, completing any extra tasks that you might need to complete just to ensure you are ready to come to UNT in the fall. And, honestly, just for students to come and celebrate their hard work.
Yeah, definitely. It's also like Keela said, a celebration for the students, and it's also a celebration for us in admissions as well. All of the admissions recruiters, the processing teams, the college recruiters, all of our hard work to meet these students throughout the year and help them throughout their application process and all of that. And we really lean into the celebration of it all, and we have a lot of fun introducing those admitted students to each other, future roommates, future classmates, and kind of helping them establish those connections with their academic college so that way they have a network built already before they get here in the fall.
Great. And when is Admitted Students Day?
Admitted Students Day is on Saturday, April 19th. Check-in begins around 10 a.m. and then we'll begin our official programming at about 10:15.
Okay. And then where is that check-in? Where do students need to go to get checked in?
Yeah, so the event for the most part is going to be out of the UNT Coliseum, and parking will be right across the street in lot 20, and then students will make their way to gate A, which is on Highland, if that helps. There's also a parking map that will go out in their reminder emails and on the website as well. Make their way to gate A, check in, we provide breakfast, and then students and parents both have separate programming for the first part of the day. We have some parent breakout sessions to cover some of those important next steps like housing, orientation, some of our specializing offices for student support, like Student Veteran Services, Office of Disability Access. They'll be out presenting to parents in the morning about how to kind of go about requesting those accommodations and things like that. And while they're doing that, students will be traveling across campus, playing games, activities, ranging from things related to physical strength all the way to creativity, artistic ability, and it's a lot of fun in the morning. And then we come together, we have a word ceremony, and we wrap up with a few optional things in the afternoon that I can kind of let Keela touch on some of our afternoon offerings.
Yeah. So in the award, I just want to touch really fast on the awards. This is one of our favorite moments throughout the event is when we get back together, we count all the points and we crown somebody as the Admitted Students Day champions. It's just like it adds a little bit of the competitiveness amongst teams. And this year we are doing a little bit different versus previous years where we've, grouped students based on their colleges. This time we are kind of taking that away so students can meet anybody from whatever college, whatever background, and they find those connections, again, before they get to campus. But following that, we do have a couple optional things like campus tours and some academic sessions where we will have our Eagle ambassadors guiding guests throughout our campus and just being able to see some of our beautiful pieces that we have here in Denton, because I don't know if you know this, but admitted students day is often the first time that a lot of admitted students get to come to campus. So we really try to make sure that they get to see the campus that they are hopefully going to call home soon in a short few months, and just really fall in love with what our scenery is here. And then another optional piece that they have is some academic sessions. We'll have, some of our colleges, like the College of Engineering, which is one of our popular ones. We have a really awesome, partnership with a lot of the other colleges, like College of Applied and Collaborative Studies, and, others like the College of Visual Arts and Design. And things like that. And we know that these students are already admitted, so they're probably not looking to find out more information on what major they are going to choose. We will have advising services, so they will still, if they are still in that moment, we don't push back on any students who are still undecided. We still provide the opportunity there. But a lot of these students are looking to just connect with the people that they are probably going to see for the next 4 years while they're on campus. So it's just a great opportunity to, see all that, meet with them, mingle, and really get connected before they come in the fall.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's talk about the how. Is it something where, like, if you're an admitted student, you get an invite, or is there like somewhere they need to go to register for the event?
Yeah, so we run marketing campaigns via email. So our admitted students should have received an invite via email, but if not, they can also find the registration link on the Admitted Students Day website, which is, I believe, admitday.unt, and you can find it that way. The only requirement, though, is that they are admitted, so they are asked to include their student ID, their IMPL ID in the registration form, and that's how we verify that they have been admitted. And anybody who, maybe accidentally signs up without being admitted, maybe they heard about it word of mouth or something like that, we email them personally and let them know that, we would love to see them at next year's Admitted Students Day if they're a junior or something like that. But we really reserve this time for our students who have completed that process.
Nice. And I just did confirm. I typed it in. It is admitday.unt.edu. We'll be sure to include a link to the website in the show notes. So let's see here. We covered the who, the where, the when, the what they'll be doing. I guess my next question is, why should students do this? What'll be different from like what they would get out of, say, orientation or something like that? Like, what do you think is the biggest selling point for students to come take part in Admitted Students Day?
Ooh, that's a really good one. I personally, and Shady, you might have another point of view, but personally, I think it's just connecting with somebody before you do even get to orientation and before you even get to campus, right? I myself am one that would refuse to go to anything. So I definitely want to challenge my introverted friends who are like, nope, that's not for me. Trust me, and honestly, Shady, we understand that sometimes these things are not the most exciting and most fun things for us to like do, but it's really honestly just a good challenge to get out of your comfort zone and find one person even to just connect with and meet before you go to orientation and before you get to campus. So that way you have a familiar face, you have a familiar friend, and even if it's not a friend, maybe like a faculty or a staff member who's, I'm going to just call out our like admissions recruiters, we work with you often throughout the academic year. Come and meet us as well, and you'll have a familiar face that you'll be able to see on campus before even going to class probably, or even meeting friends and joining those student organizations or things like that. And that's just, to me, that's my selling point of come meet some people, somebody that's going to just kind of be your person before you get to campus.
Nice.
I think that's a really great perspective, Keela. I think for me, it's more so I'm a very analytical person, so just like black and white by the numbers. To be honest, for me, it's a free event. So orientation has excellent programming and really, really good sessions that really prepare students to come here. But it is a 2-day experience and there is a fee involved with that. Of course, there is a deferment option if for anybody out there listening. Orientation is very helpful about that. But, there is a fee involved. It's a 2-day experience. And so that can be quite a lot of commitment on a student's behalf if they're not 100% sold on UNT quite yet. And so coming to Admitted Students Day first, it's a totally free event. We provide breakfast, lunch, a lot of information sessions, a lot of mingling sessions to meet people. Like Keela said, we'll do campus tours. So it's an opportunity to learn a lot for free in one day before you commit to signing up for orientation.
Very nice.
That too.
Free is always good.
Yes.
Especially in college. All right, we covered the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Is there anything, this is something we do every year. Is there anything special about the event this year or anything that makes this year different for anything?
This year, we did get a brand new university president this past academic year. He started and joined us in August. We are going to have President Keller come out and join us. We hope to see him in some mean green and welcome some admitted students and families to campus just so that way they can see, it's not just about us down here or us that are in the admissions recruiters positions and trying to get you to come campus, but also like just seeing our president show up and show that he cares just as much as we do. And I think that's a huge exciting piece that we are going to offer or have this year compared to the last couple of years. So we're really excited about that to have him there.
Yeah, and another cool aspect that we're incorporating this year is a transfer student meet and mingle. So as you can imagine, the experience for incoming freshmen and incoming transfer students is just a little bit different. They're in slightly different stages of life and experience levels and things like that. So we are dedicating a separate space in the afternoon for transfer students to come and just kind of hang out, get some refreshments, get some swag items, get to know each other, play some games, have some conversations, and there will be current students in that room who transferred to UNT that they can kind of go to and see what that experience was like. So I wanted to just kind of point that out because it's pretty unique for us to have a dedicated space for our transfer students, and we really want them to take advantage of that.
Very nice. I think that covers all the questions. Is there anything else we didn't cover that you'd like to talk about or anything?
I don't think so necessarily. I would just say for any students or parents out there listening and debating, if you should come to Admitted Students Day or not, if you have any questions or concerns or you just need a little clarification maybe on the schedule or anything like that, please feel free to email us. Our team is more than happy to address those with you. Our email is preview@unt.edu. We would be happy to help you make a plan for Admitted Students Day.
Absolutely. We'll include the link and the email in the show notes. And Keela and Shady, thank you again for taking the time to join us and talk about it. Excited to see how Admitted Students Day goes this year.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, we appreciate this time.
Thank you so much. Hope to see a lot of students at ASD.
I know I could still pass for a teenager. No questions asked.
100%.
Good, because Admitted Students Day sounds like a whole lot of fun. So I may try to crash it and make some new friends.
I mean, if nothing else, it would make for some good social content. I see no flaws in your plan. Check the show notes for more information about Admitted Students Day and spread the good word to any future Eagles in your life.
While I work on my new fake identity, call me Alicia Marzipan. Why don't you tell us what our Q&A is for today, Scotty?
Well, Alicia, in the spirit of our newly renamed Michael W. Faircloth Fashion Design Program, our question today is, if you could have anything at UNT named after you, what would it be and why?
Anything?
Anything. Could be a degree program, a building, a whole college, a statue, a bench, whatever you want.
All right. Well, I would definitely name the dining room style table inside the UNT Union Starbucks after myself.
That is so specific.
Don't you know it? That is practically where I completed my media arts degree, if not in the actual media arts building. I couldn't tell you how many venti iced oat milk lattes I ordered to keep me awake from the span of 2018 to 2022. I swear I didn't order one every time I went because then I would have been broke. LOL. I am just grateful to have had a place to study that was peaceful with some good ambiance. What about you, Scoodle?
Well, I was thinking degree program, but my degree's in journalism, and that's already got the Mayborn name attached to it. And when I was here, the Mayborn was in the GAB, but now it's in Sycamore, so it'd feel weird to claim either of those buildings. Maybe the study abroad program, since my trip to Germany made such an impact on me, that would be cool. Or I could go the prank route and put my name on that real estate program, since everybody would assume it's that Scott Brown, and then have to explain that it's actually named after some random guy who worked here and did a podcast. Our student reporter, Anthony Simone, took this question out to students to get their answers.
If you were able to have something on campus named after you, like a scholarship program, a building, anything, what would it be?
I know a library sounds pretty fun.
Okay, if I could have any single spot named after me, it would be, there's a exterior stairwell in the art building, and there's one little weird niche spot to sit under it right next to the sculpture studio, and I would name that little spot after me because I sit there all the time.
So past 2 weeks I went to a conference in Alabama, and so over there they had their own conference hall, and so if I could have any building named after me, it'd probably be a conference hall to hold all these big events and make it top tier prestigious like theirs.
Well, now that you've heard the legacies we'd like to leave behind, we want to hear from you. Tell us what you'd want named after you at UNT by emailing us at podcast@unt.edu or calling us at 940-565-4341.
And don't forget to tell a friend about the show, share it on social media, or leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. Until next time, we hope you have a happy Friday, North Texas.
And go Mean Green.
Happy Friday, North Texas is a production of the University of North Texas. Today's show is produced and edited by Scott Brown, with original reporting by Scott Brown, Lisa Shortino, and Anthony Simone. For more information, visit unt.edu/podcast.
I had to squint when I was reading that first sentence. That's how I knew I was going to mess it up. Scotty, have you heard? Oh, God. What?
Sorry. Heard you had something.
Oh, my God. I am illiterate. Whew. I'm getting hot. Okay.
Last episode, I talked trying to go too fast.
Our girl Lisa Shorty. Oh my God. Okay. Don't know how to speak. Beep boop bop. Okay.
I thought that was really funny.
That was good. I was not sure if I was gonna be able to say it. I want to say marzipan.
Yeah, say marzipan. Yo, under 15 minutes.
Let's go. Is that a record?
Yes. Yes, it is.
It has to be.
Oh, man. Now I have to delete and burn this recording.
Yeah, well, yes. You can keep it for if you need a laugh, but don't put it in the bloops, essentially. Imagine if you did. All this time you hated me.
Thank you for the quick emergency record. Emergency record.
Sorry. I so stressed. Thanks for the inspo. Talk to you tomorrow.